awfully good upbringing and are well grounded, and I'd just like your comment on that.
Well, they are very well grounded, and you know, I think you know, as you see him come up through the ranks. You know, I'm a little bit closer to Austin than Ty, just because he's been around longer. You know, but you listen and you watch and you see the things that you know, he recognizes, and when you think about it, I mean, those kids have been around racing their whole life, and you know, Austin is just one of those kids that you know, he could go and do anything he wanted to do, but he's, you know, this is what he wants to do. He puts a full effort into it, and you know, he's getting the results out of it that he puts into it. So, but you know, as far as the basketball games go, we got to let him win every once in a while. We do have fun though.
Go back to Kevin back there, and then we'll go right over here. I'm at Kevin. Ken, I'm sorry. Audience slept there.
Just to clarify, to back up a few questions, was Bristol ruined originally, or with this latest renovation to put it back to the way it was?
Originally, it was great. It was our most popular race.
Okay, but now that it's supposedly going back to the... Okay.
I haven't seen it. It's not going back to anything. All I've heard is they polished one lane.
And how do you see, other than the obvious, you're at night, it's Daytona in July, do you see this race looking dramatically different than the Talladega race did, or roughly the same, or just how do you see it?
Well, you know, this race is obviously, you know, the spoilers are still really small in the back of these cars, and I think, you know, we haven't had really any handling issues, but I think if that side of it's going to rear its head here, I would think it would be here, just with the temperatures and the way that you know, the cars could slide around a little more. We don't anticipate that, but you know, it could happen. But you know, this race is a lot different than Talladega, just because there's not as much room to move around. So you have to you know, press a little bit harder to keep your track position, to keep yourself in position towards the end.
Right here, go ahead.
Kevin, Bill Kim, NASCAR.com. Kind of a couple questions. One, you had mentioned earlier about trying to just kind of lock your way into the chase now. How do you do that? Is it go for victories? Are you at a point where you don't have to worry about points so much and you can really kind of get those bonus points with the wins? Or do you still focus just on, you know, top 10, and let the victories come where they may? And then a second one, following up on the baby question, do you have a backup this week? Who is it? And kind of what's the process that goes into picking that backup for you?
Yeah, we don't have any backups. You know, I think as you look towards, you know, the next 9 weeks, you know, for us, we're trying to avoid big mistakes and giving away big chunks of points, and you know, the winning side of it, you can't force those things. You know, as you go through the years, you understand that the more you try to force situations, the worse the results get. So those things go in cycles. You know, last year we had some things go our way, and we won some races, and we won, you know, a couple that were circumstances, and the circumstances that we've had this year haven't gone that particular direction. So it's just something where you ride the waves, and you try not to let the lulls you know, tear everything down, and as you're in the highs, you enjoy them.
Other questions for Kevin? Raise your hand and we'll get to you. Claire's got one, please.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. You're such a driven person that week to week, you know, as your team is, and I talked to your crew chief last week, you know, getting back on track. It's sort of like with a number of the teams, because perfection is, you know, where you got to be. You're never satisfied. But where exactly do you think your team falls right now? Where do you think you're at?
You know, I think you know, as much as we've complained about the results and the way things have gone, you know, we still have to remember that we still have a good chance to make the chase, sitting sixth in the points with a, you know, a fairly good sized point gap over 11th. So we don't need to, you know, go out and do anything crazy. So you know, we've complained, you know, a lot about needing to get the cars better, but we've done okay at salvaging, you know, while things haven't been, you know, where we think they need to be. So we have to, you know, keep fixing things. I feel like I said, the pit crew is doing a great job. You know, we fixed the qualifying side of it, and now we just got to, you know, we're consistent, but we're not consistently where we need to be, and in being able to win a couple races here and there. So, you know, that's the main focus right now, is to just get a little bit of speed out of the cars, and be prepared and not screw up over the next 9 weeks.